That was actor Josh Brolin in a horribly choreographed fight scene from Spike Lee's latest joint, Old Boy, a remake of the 2003 South Korean film by the same name, which has become quite a cult classic. The original plot, and this film as well, is about a man who goes out drinking one night and then wakes up in a hotel room, which becomes his prison for the next 20 years. He doesn't know who has imprisoned him here or why, and then 20 years later he's released, in the case of this movie, in a chest in a field, and has about 48 hours to find out who imprisoned him and why. Spike Lee does a few different things in this movie, otherwise he pretty much follows the same storyline. For instance, in the original movie, you spent about 2 minutes with the protagonist getting drunk, and then he's in the hotel room, so we don't know much about his backstory, except that he has a young daughter. Here we spend about half an hour with Josh Brolin, just enough time to realize he's a major douchebag. There's a part where his ex-wife is on the phone begging him to show up for his 3-year-old daughter's upcoming birthday party, and he blows it off. He's got stuff to do and says, she's a 3-year-old. She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't know any better. And that's just an example. There's one point where he lands an account with a new client through his job for some advertising firm, and when the client shakes his hand and then goes to take a phone call in the other room, he proceeds to try to get his wife to have sex with him, and it doesn't even make any sense. It's a badly done scene like most of the film, and it shows what a douchebag he is, and I don't get this mechanism. Why do we present the protagonist in this version of the film as such an asshole? Because thus we have trouble sympathizing for his plight when he's in prison for 20 years. We pretty much figure he deserves it. The only reason I guess he's set up as such an asshole is because when he's trying to track down who did this to him, he has a very long list to go through. And of course, the actual enemy who has imprisoned him isn't even on the list, because there's just so many enemies out there. But the film is pointless. The first film was hypnotic. It's just beautifully directed. When he's in this 20-year imprisonment, he decides to teach himself martial arts and watches clips from Bruce Lee movies and works out at fighting, and then ends up using it in real life and becomes a real badass. Here you don't get that. There is a little bit where he's doing pull-ups and push-ups and punching a wall for a second, but it's just the whole pacing is off, and we don't get the whole making himself into a badass that we did in the first movie. The only thing I will say about this film over the Korean film, if there's any one thing Spike Lee did better, it's the very ending. I actually prefer the ending to this film over the ending to the other film. The other film's ending is very dark, where here it's kind of dark but less dark, more Americanized. But just everything about the original film was better. The original film had a narrative device where the old boy character narrated the film. And I usually don't like where the lead character narrates the story, but it worked in that film. Here, Spike Lee drops that mechanism, and it leaves us kind of confused. It's a confusing story that needs that device, really, to make it more clear. Just everything about this film. There's some nice shots, but again, the action's horrible. Spike Lee did this movie, Miracle at St. Anna, a few years ago, and the battle scenes were horrible. Just, he cannot direct action. He needs to stick to just human drama. I think Malcolm X is maybe the best American film of the 90s. I liked Inside Man. I really enjoy He Got Game. Crooklyn's a cute film. But for every one good movie Spike Lee makes, he seems to make at least 2 bad films. And this is really one of his worst. It's a pointless remake. You don't remake a perfect movie. Why? Just so Americans can watch it without subtitles? I guess so. I don't know. Horrible movie. Please, if you enjoyed Old Boy, don't even waste your time on this. That's the only reason I watch it, because I love Old Boy so much, and I do appreciate Spike Lee's filmmaking at times. Like I said, he's made a few great films, and I was hoping maybe this would surprise me, but just a bad film overall. Save your money, save your time, and skip Old Boy. Until next time, thanks for joining me on the Kris Kondrad Movie Review Show.